hear you talking, here's the first thing that comes to my mind. Total, and also looking at your emails, and I was going through them before we spoke, just looking at the type of content, the type of value, the type of options. It's the same way that you've just described, all these different avenues for distribution. The one word that comes to mind is one word: total overwhelm, right?
Yeah.
Like, where do you start, right? I'm in an industry that is absolutely has zero knowledge of the industry that you've described, and yet has to become expert immediately, right? And that the people that I work with, we need to move to any motion in this industry for a real estate developer raising money online immediately puts them at the forefront of the industry. Does that make sense? The second somebody puts a Twitter account up and starts sending valuable content out, suddenly they're at the head. They're leading the crowd now. And yet it's like tiptoeing into the water. So for an industry, right, for somebody listening to this in the real estate industry, who is like, I feel like, where do you start, right? Where do I start with SEO? Do I start with a Twitter account? How do I create content? Like, where does one start when the starting point is from zero?
Yeah. You don't want to overcomplicate it. And I hear what you're saying. So what I've covered is what I do. So I don't expect the average real estate developer to come up to speed. And for me, some of my peers in the industry, I am blown away with how good they do their job as well. And I think, to keep it really simple, if let's distill it down to simplicity, try and get some clarity out of complexity, and, to try and get some simplicity out of this overwhelm, this just huge blue sky. Number one, I would think about the biggest problems that your industry faces. I'd list 10 big problems. Then I'd start creating content around those big problems. And then that's the content piece. How you get that written? Well, you might want to hire a journalist. You might want to invite experts in your industry to participate, because you could give them a platform. Number two, you need to build distribution. So how do you do that? The game has changed. So instead of organic social and building a Twitter account, I'd just go straight to targeted Facebook ads and experiment and see how quickly. And what I'd do is I would, number one, drive them to read content. But number two, I would maybe just put together a simple mini webinar where you explain your services, and maybe a call to action to actually, after that webinar, is attend a small $97 or free event where you actually can get in front of people. So when you're talking about big ticket items, then, as in big dollars, people aren't going to hand them over easily online. You've got to basically get in the weeds and do it. But there's nothing to stop you building those leads, where you start building trust and credibility, where you then get them to turn up in person at a real estate development event. And you can drive, traffic to these, to the webinar. So essentially, number one, content that answers 10 of your biggest problems in your industry.